What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're getting to a rebuild that I've been trying to record for the better part of a week now. It's just kind of lined up this way. We talked about the blockbuster trade that's already happened. I mean, we're still waiting for Deshaun Watson. We're still waiting for Carson Wentz, but Matt Stafford went to the Rams. We did that rebuild. We got to see what he was able to accomplish and achieve there in Los Angeles. But there's another quarterback involved in this trade, people. All right, and while there's a stark contrast in the fan base about the excitement of their brand new quarterback, Jared Goff, for better or for worse, is going to be the Lions quarterback and almost certainly their starter in 2021. So let's rebuild the Lions with Jared Goff as their quarterback. I mean, hey, there's a reason why originally I picked the Detroit Lions as my Madden 21 team, because I think there's a fun rebuild in here. Obviously never appeared in a Super Bowl, let alone won a Super Bowl. The ultimate goal is still there, and hey, for whatever it's worth, how much you want to put that on McVay's plate or not, Jared Goff has played and started in a Super Bowl. So maybe there's something there. He's 26, and I'll be honest with you, if we're going to have to get lucky on a dev trait at some point in this rebuild for him to take his game to the next level, because you're probably going to want to try to have an 85-plus overall quarterback. But this is still going to be a pretty fun rebuild now with kneecaps Dan Campbell controlling the Detroit Lions. So before we get into this video, though, we do have a sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Brutal Age Horde Invasion. Come experience the most original PvE and PvP battle in this free MMO strategy game. Ally with your friends and be brutal in this prehistoric party. Become a legendary Warchief. Use my links below to download Brutal Age to your mobile phone. For me, whether I'm in a battle against my rival trying to expand my territory and burn their land to the ground, or training my barbarian clan troops to be the strongest and baddest horde in all the land, there is plenty to do and achieve here in Brutal Age. There is also new content available today. Honor Tech is added to the Temple of Wisdom. Develop the first tech to unlock a level 6 outpost, and there's 3 new unit types to be unlocked as well. Valentine's Day event is also live right now in game. During the event, use a rose to open 3 rose envelopes to get all the rewards from the rose prize pool, plus tons of speed ups and resources. Download the game now using my link in the description and my special code in the Chief Invitation event bar to receive a $200 chest reward after you reach level 4 in game. So check out Brutal Age Horde Invasion now and start your quest to become a legendary Warchief. Perfect segue of securing the bag into this Jared Goff contract. That's probably the biggest issue with Jared Goff. The fact that the overall's not so bad, because you look at 78, 79, he's 26, it's not bad. It's the normal dev trait. You pretty much, in Madden, you don't want to see a number above probably 30 with a normal dev trait. And that's the biggest thing working against Jared Goff right now. So, I mean, there's no way to, unless he's playing very, very, very well in the sim, it's going to be difficult for him to go up dev trait organically. We're going to have to hope that we get a random week where it's like, hey, have you seen Jared Goff lately? And I will 100% hop in and play. I want to at least give him a star dev trait to see if I can get the wheels rolling there just a little bit. So I will still have to trade that 2023 first round pick. But while we're here, right now, current, present time for the Detroit Lions, let's look at their free agents and try to figure this out. Because absolutely, under Dan Campbell, you can't let Kenny Golladay walk. I don't know why there hasn't been an extension hammered out yet. I don't know if that's a reluctancy from Kenny Galladay's side of things, like he doesn't want to be back in Detroit. But I just can't see any way that you let this guy leave the building. He is one of the best jump ball wide receivers in the National Football League. And whether or not Jared Goff's going to be your long-term option at quarterback, he's a valuable playmaker that you absolutely want. So we'll even overpay to make sure we ensure his services. I think Marvin Jones is a little too expensive. 31, he's already regressed down to an 80. I mean, looking at this roster, I think Agnew from a Madden standpoint, I mean, he's a hell of a return man, but much like Deontay Harris in New Orleans, they give the dev traits to the return man. They still have that dev trait earning XP. So Agnew is going to be a fairly solid wide receiver for us, I think, 2-3 years down the line here. So let's see if we can just keep a guy with a great dev trait that's going to continue to develop as a receiver. He's already up to an 83, which is kind of ridiculous given the fact that he's, a converted cornerback. Pays me to say, it's probably going to be the end of the line here for Jared Davis. Even though, I mean, we got money. I'll offer him this contract, maybe a 3-year, 9.5 mil. If he wants to take it, he takes it, which he does. And then let's just take all that cash that we have, see if we make a splash or two in free agency, and go all in here with Jared Goff and see if Jared Goff can be the man to, unlikely, but be the man to finally bring Detroit a Super Bowl title. Well, that psyched the hell out of me. I thought we had money. We have about $7 million. And I was like, okay. Well, what kind of contracts can we shift off? I know there's an ugly big V right tackle. There's literally no savings to be had on this squad. Okay, we're getting rid of Goff. Can get $500,000 for Trufant. You know, Danny Shelton, but he's still solid. He's serviceable. Jesse James has an ugly contract. Chase Daniels, an expensive, ugly contract. You know, there's no real ground to be had. Hey, we have Jalen Samuels. Nice. So with that $7 million, like, maybe there could be a small underrated investment that we can look to try to secure here, I suppose. I mean, there's not much at wide receiver. I'm using a random Madden draft class. I'm not using my custom draft class. I am still working on that behind the scenes. So from that standpoint, you know, O-line's going to be tough to draft. So we're going to have to hope that we can continue to develop and grow our current starters. There's not much there. Right tackle, still not much there. Defensive line, our D-line's not, you know, ridiculous. It's actually probably one of the better units on this team. You know, an outside linebacker would be nice, and there's not much there. You know, there's Anzalone, maybe? He wants $50 million. That ain't happening. Free safety, Marcus Williams would be awesome plug and play. Day one starter at free safety. Don't got any money to pay him that. And you look at Clinton Dix and Casey here. They're not bad, but the age at 28, you know, their best football is already behind them. So, like, unfortunately, we're just going to sit on the sidelines here, and hopefully we can hit on some studs in the draft. I guess we will start it up by picking up the 5th-year option on Frank Ragnow, one of the best mauling beast of a centers in the National Football League. We want him anchoring our offensive line for the entirety of this rebuild. All right, we're here at pick 5 in our little generated draft. And I will have to admit that this is the Jared Goff rebuild. And while I do think there's a very clear and defined point when we need to move on from Jared Goff, it's not right off the start, even though this quarterback looks very damn good. Hunter Rouse out of Michigan. Like, that guy there is like 76, 77. At least. I'm definitely going to check out his stats. I mean, we could use a wide receiver here. We have Sharp, but there's like no bona fide first rounders, and there's value. We have Bishop, Warwick in the 5th round. Both these guys are early 2nd round talents. They have really good combine numbers. The speed is there. This guy actually looks really, really good. It must be related to Peter Warwick or something like that. But the best players, I mean, we could go on the offensive line, but it's really for me between 2 guys. First, we have Rashawn Ward, like at positions we don't absolutely need right now. But at D-tackle, we do have Danny Shelton, who's 28. You can upgrade from that for sure. And Rashawn Ward, I mean, early 1st-round talent. The skills look good. The combine is insane. 4.78. You got a good broad jump. The bench press of 41 reps. This guy's an absolute beast, and he's only 21. Or we have Angelo Mullins here from Penn State. 4.42, 40-yard dash at almost 200. I mean, that's a generous roundup, but he's 243. Like, that is a big, big boy, leading bench press of 3. Like, the combine, this guy here, I almost feel like, you know, he's going to have 90-plus speed, 91, 92 speed potentially in that range. And D-tackles grow on trees. We can get a D-tackle next year. Sometimes you get those 7th-round D-tackles that have the 1st-round grades. And I'm not saying that good linebackers are absolute diamonds in the rough, but, oh, that stings. There's no dev trait. No. 73 normal, 91 speed, 90 acceleration, hit power solid. Oh, the dev traits just kill me in this game. I mean, that guy's a freak. This guy is that is 83 strength, 88 agility. His coverage ability is the shits. That needs to get worked on, but see ball, get ball, sideline to sideline. We got a Devin White, Devin Bush going on here. And he's 20 pounds heavier. All right, well, My gut says go with the first round guard that we have here in the second round. Because you know, positional scarcity. That's why we went with that linebacker in the first round over the D tackles. D tackles grow on trees. But this is a pretty damn good D tackle still available. Mid first rounder. Combines off the chains. Let's get the D tackle. Hey, there we go. Another 73 normal. Grab one of the fifth round wideouts here. Anthony Warwick, 71 normal, number 35 in true value, 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 80 catching, 82 spec catch. That looks like a very nice weapon here. Oh, finally a hidden dev in the 6th round. Our third wide receiver target, Keontae Harrell out of USC, 69, hidden dev, 93 speed, 82 catching. Let's go. I mean, we only had 2 wide receivers on the roster in Galladay and the return dude. So we needed to, hey, there we go. We'll take a hidden dev. At least one. Draft recap time for the 2021 draft. You guys saw most of my big picks. The ones you didn't see, I got Bishop here, another one of our wide receiver targets. He's a 71 normal, 68 normal guard. We have the 69 hidden dev wide receiver, which you guys did see, and we finished up the draft with a 67 normal dev outside linebacker. Overall, very good draft haul. The top 2 players that we really missed out on, I guess we could throw in the guard. We had Pope here, who the Browns got in the 2nd round. He's a 72 normal. I mean, that's a solid looking player there. 22 USC. We had the Jacksonville Jaguars, got that D tackle we were thinking over, Sean Ward. He's actually the number 1 player in true talent in the draft. Normal dev, so I'm not overly worried. I mean, that's a hell of a player, but don't get me wrong. But I do like our linebacker now, knowing that Ward's not having a dev trait. They're both stuck on normal. And then the quarterback that we kind of highlighted right at the rip is Rouse. Hunter Rouse went to the Saints. They already know he's going to be a sim god. 76 hidden dev, but I did kind of sneak a peek under the hood, and he's only a star. So while that's a hell of a player, well, he's probably going to put up better numbers than Jared Goff. It wasn't like we passed on getting a quarterback because it's the Jared Goff rebuild, and we ended up passing on an X Factor or something like that right out the gate. So I'm happy with our draft. Let's get into the first year of Jared Goff trying to rebuild and bring a title to Detroit. And before we jump into the year, we're also going to send now that 2023 first round pick from the Rams to the Lions. So to quickly touch base on our roster before we go full bore into this rebuild. So we have Jared Goff at quarterback, which you know he's a 79. DeAndre Swift, running back 1. Galladay, Agnew, and Harrell will be our premier wide receivers this season. Offensive line is solid, really. I just can't look at this O-line and think anything other than, my God, we got to get Big V's contract off the books. Hawkinson at tight end is really nice, up to an 85 already. Would be awesome to get him a dev trait. Now rocking and rolling into the 4-3. Front 4 is solid. Linebacker core. Tavai, I believe, went up a dev trait. Mullins, our first round pick at linebacker, we're going to kick him out to right outside. And he went up already 2 overall points from a 73 to a 75. Only thing I don't like about this defense is I feel like Oruwariye at 25-76 still could have a role on this team. Like, he'd be a 76 strong safety, even though his tackling is kind of the shits. And then we could put Tracy Walker at free, but we're not gonna go. We won't go too crazy with all of that. And I don't think it's gonna take us a whole long to get that 7-8 win range, but it is gonna fall on the shoulders of Jared Goff from being a Jeff Fisher team to being a playoff contender. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I just hope that he plays well. Because obviously, if he sucks, this is not gonna be a very fun video. We're midway of the year in 2021. We have 2 dev traits here right off our bye. Aquara there. And we also have DeAndre Swift potentially. Big game ahead here, week 7 against the Falcons. Not what we're looking for in Jared Goff with the dev trait, but the more dev traits, the better. We're 3-2. One thing that is kind of underrated about Dan Campbell coming here is that we're going heavy on Saints. Saints offense, Saints defense. We have Glenn from the Saints against the Saints coaching staff, right? So, Saints offense, very OP. Very, very, very OP in the Madden Sim. So, hopefully that helps out Jared Goff just a little bit as we go through this. In terms of contracts, well, first up we have Deshaun Hand. That actually looks like a pretty goddamn ridiculous contract given his rating and dev trait. I think Fox, really solid punter. So, let's just, set and forget. Don't have to worry about ever bringing in another punter. I think Romeo Aquara, a defensive end. That's actually not brutal value. But he does only have a normal dev, and we don't have a lot of money. So I feel like I might be more inclined to lock in Tracy Walker because he's 26 with that star. Maybe also Crosby because linemen are so goddamn difficult to find in the draft. before we pay Aquara, who's yet to really have a breakout year. You know, that's like $6-7 million per. A little expensive. All right, full disclosure, as we get into it, we have a week 6, we're out of the playoffs. We're 6-8, which is, hey, at least a win better than what the Lions did in real life. But we do have a breakout scenario here for Jared Goff. And like I said, if we have an opportunity just to even get the wheels rolling up to a star dev, get them off normal, I'm going to do that. Get 300 total yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and a win against the Browns. I'm just going to hop in. I'm going to try to do that because let's be honest, 0 picks for me. This is actually might be a little bit difficult, but hopefully we can achieve it and get Goff off the poopy Brown dev trade. I might have had to juke up 70 points to barely beat the Browns. We got 1 touchdown late, but we got the dev trait, and it may or may not have to be achieved on all pro difficulty. Couldn't do it on all Madden. Sorry, fellas, if you're disappointed. Sorry. Hey, still 70 points on all pro. That's pretty damn respectable, I think. Year 1 of the Jared Goff era didn't end as quite as prolific as I would have liked, but we weren't last in the division. 2 wins more than we had a year ago, which, I mean, you can't just say like, oh, we got more wins in Detroit than Stafford. Stafford was banged up in his final year, but the fact that we were able to get Jared Goff a dev trait, we'll just say forcefully, it still is huge for his development going forward, up to an 82. Harold, the hidden dev wide receiver, coming out star. Wish it was a little bit better than that, but it's still really nice. And man, he was just so fast in that game that I got to play. A lot faster than 94 speed, it felt like. Defensive side, no dev traits were really earned, but Mullins had a very productive season as a rookie. I think he's going to be right up there for defensive rookie of the year. Statistically speaking, Jared Goff, 4,200 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 picks. Ain't bad. Let's see what old Stafford did. Oh, there we go. He was garbage. So kudos to Jared Goff. Running the ball, almost 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns there from DeAndre Swift, 8 tutties for Kerryon Johnson. Hey, give Jared Goff credit where credit's due. 2 rushing touchdowns, 32 total on the year. Receiving, we had over 1,000 yards for TJ Hawkinson, 950 and 5 for Harrell, which is exceptional for like, what was he, a 5th round pick, 6th round pick. Kenny Golladay, almost 900 yards and 7 touchdowns. Agnew with almost 800 yards. Defensively, Mullins was a freak. 129 tackles. 5 picks, Jelani Tavai, middle linebacker, to go along with a $127. I like seeing that. 9 sacks, Collins, 9 from Aquara, 8 from Trey Flowers. Hey, even Morrison, Joe Morrison, D-tackle, 17 TFLs, 4 sacks. I like seeing that. 2 picks, Jeff Okudah. Happy with these numbers. Happy with these numbers. MVP went to Patty Mahomes. In the NFC, we have any winners? Tavai is your defensive player of the year. And obviously Rouse, being the starting quarterback for the Saints, was going to win offensive rookie. But Harrell coming in at number 3. Defensive rookie of the year, Angelo Mullins. Morrison at number 2. I mean, it's just... That's what it deserves. It deserves a round of applause. Individuals, nothing. Hey, I like seeing Eagles finally have a good DB. Charvarius Ward, a guy I actually mentioned that Philadelphia should consider signing on their limited salary cap space, but that is neither here nor there. That is not this video. Year 1 of Jared Goff. While we didn't make the playoffs, we went up dev trade, and I think that if we can have another draft like we did in 2021, we might have something here in this Lions rebuild as we gear up for year 2. Kind of good news for this offseason is that we could free up some funds. So we're definitely going to get rid of Jamie Collins, who actually had a solid year, 9 sacks, but just from a salary cap standpoint, I would like to be able to sign some guys in free agency. Jesse James, thank you for your service, but don't need a kind of expensive backup tight end when we have Hawkinson. Chase Daniel, there's about $4 million. What about Big V? Oh, I just don't like that his contract keeps staring me in the face. Let's get him off the team. I don't like, he's an Eagle fan. I couldn't believe you guys paid that amount of money. That was disgusting. We do have a couple dev traits, though, that did get achieved. We have, on the defensive side, Mullins, our normal dev first-round draft pick, went up to star dev after just 1 season, which is great. He's now a 77 scheme fit pass coverage to vie with his, 5 picks? Why is my memory so bad? 5 picks up to a superstar dev, looking like the next great middle linebacker in the NFL. Very happy with the dev traits that was there. And now we got a teeny bit of money to flex in free agency. We're going to be big dog spenders here. in free agency. A lot of options available. We're going after Chris Barnes, who's just one of those OP sim guys who's like a UDFA or something like that for the Packers, but he looks hell of a player. 84 scheme fit. We can kick him out the left outside linebacker where he could take over for what we had going on with Jamie Collins. I mean, there's some corners that like Ajayi Alexander was there. Deshaun Elliott would be a big upgrade at free safety. Hayden Harrison at strong safety. However, we need a guard. Wyatt Teller is there. 27, 93. Don't have to worry about ever getting a replacement there. Plug and play for the remainder of the rebuild. So Teller and Barnes at linebacker is what we're trying to land in free agency. And we got them both. Big gets for the offense and defense. Have a draft like we did last year, and I think we got a playoff team here in year 2 of the Goff rebuild. Fifth year option, TJ Hawkinson will grab that. That's one of the best. Is he debatably the best young tight end in Madden? Probably. So we kind of control everything here. We have pick 12 and a pick 13 in the first round. So a lot of opportunities for us to get better. Unfortunately, the draft board is not exactly what we're looking for. I think we're definitely looking for an edge rusher. I mean, you're looking at the big board here. There's a wide receiver that's intriguing, just kind of have a surplus requirement at wideout. But, you know, you look at our team offensively, yeah, sure, could use maybe another big-time playmaker at wide receiver. That's a little excessive, but the rest of the O-line's good. You're not going to burn a first-round pick on a guard or tackle. They don't even exist. But you definitely want an edge rusher. Definitely could use a corner or a safety. And unfortunately, looking at the big board here, there's no beasts. You know, you look at safety here, free safety. Most of these guys kind of suck. Alex Elliott could be good value in the 4th round. 3rd round, we'll probably have to reach. There's a couple corners that are solid, but these are 2nd round corners. So I'm hoping, again, like not breathtaking. Not like, oh my God, we have to draft this guy. But this dude looks good. Jason Samuel, 6'4", 240 speed rusher. Early 1st rounder. Looks good, right? And then we have this guy. Jamal Mcdonald. Look at the strength. 4'9" at 260. Like, I feel like that's the guy. Like, can we take 2 swings and get an edge run? Like, what? Where do we go? Like, there's just, this is not, like, I just feel like we go best wideout, Darnell Dowling. You want 43 cone and 20, and then we'll just maybe take 2 swings at it. I don't. Let's get the wideout here. Surplus requirement because he looks like an absolute beast. He's number 2 in true value. 78 hidden dev. Okay. Oh, so this guy, wow. This is actually the best wide receiver I've ever drafted in Madden 21. I then think the gamble, because we need a corner, I'll draft Spurlock. I think he's actually probably the best bet of all of our corners here. We'll get Spurlock, and we'll pass on Jason Samuel. He'll have to be 100% a guy we go look back on as, what was his rating? And we get that edge rusher. That was a 3rd rounder, and get him in the 2nd round. Because we pick mid-2nd. Maybe I'll trade up if need be, but we can grab a corner here. Demarius Spurlock from LSU, 75 normal dev, number 11 in true value. Getting him at 13. He looks solid. 75 catching. Nice. Could be a playmaker back there as our corner 3. So to be able to ensure that we're able to get that edge rusher, I'm trading for the 1st pick in the 2nd round. I give a 2, 3, and a 6 to Seattle to jump up to the 1st overall pick in the 2nd round. I hope to God that edge rusher's good. Like, we come on. Come on. Hey, we'll take that. 73 hidden dev, 18 in true value, 88 speed, 86 strength, an athletic monster, Jamal Mcdonald out of Michigan. The local kid goes to the Lions. So, our draft, the big thing we got to talk about is the guy that we missed on, right? The guy that we passed was Jason Samuel, outside linebacker, edge rusher. He's 78, went to the Bears. And it's a little painful. It's a little painful. We're still going to be optimistic with what we have, but he was a superstar dev. So here's hoping that the guy we got is superstar as well, Jamal Mcdonald. But I'm happy with our first 3 picks. We got a 70 wideout, 68 safety. Finished up with a nice top 25 player and a fullback cheese, Nick Stanford here at Illinois. But hey, Dowling, we got an absolute stud. The best wide receiver I've ever seen in Madden 21 as far as a draft prospect is concerned. And we got a hidden dev here in Jamal Mcdonald. But knowing what we passed on at edge, come on, be better than a star. Midway point of year 2, 4-4, which is not amazing, but we're still right in it. The thick of things for the NFC North. Only a loss separates us from first and second. Contracts. What do we got here? Got Kyle. No, screw that. But Frank Ragnow's getting paid. Let's give him 5 year. Don't want to worry about you having to pay you at any point. He wants some more money, but I think we can make that happen. Same with Tavai here at middle linebacker. Give him a 5-year contract. Get him locked up. I think Orarie solid for the time. Even though we tried drafting his replacement, essentially that's solid money to have a corner that could eventually develop into maybe even just a key trade piece coming a little bit later on. But we'll make sure we can extend Frank Ragnow for sure. One thing that I know for sure that's unreal is our wide receiver. I saw the dev trade. Still waiting on the D end, but Dowling, number 2 in true value, superstar dev wide receiver. Already got 5 skill points. I think, what was he, 78? Up to an 83. He is going to be very, very special. And we're back on our Jeff Fisher shit. Year 2, 7 and 9. Not exactly what we were looking for, but we have a new freak beast at wide receiver. Dowling's up to an 85, which I'm very happy with. Goff up to an 86. I don't know. It would be nice to see DeAndre Swift get up to the 90s sooner or later, but it's only year 2. We're fine. Defensively, 77 for McDonald. Not, it wasn't the superstar that we passed on, but I'm still optimistic as a speed rush. He's already a scheme fit. He's going to come into his own. Still no development really for our safeties, which is a little bit rough, but linebackers are solid across the board. I thought Tavai would have had a bigger year too in terms of development with that superstar dev, but Barnes looks really solid. 88 as an outside linebacker. Mullins up to an 80. So a lot of these numbers look good, man. We're a very promising team. Still very young for the most part. I think year 3 now we should put the bare minimum of making the playoffs. It's only $6 million. We'll have a quiet free agency period, especially with how we've been drafting. It's not like we have to have this reliance on signing free agents. We're still doing very well building a team the traditional way. Another 5th-year option scenario for Jeff Okudah this time. Again, don't really want to worry about any shenanigans there with his contract or him just bouncing, doesn't want to re-sign with the team. So we'll make sure he's here for at least a 5th and final season at worst. Well, this is the last draft where we have our first-round compensation from the Matt Stafford trade. We actually have pick 10 and 11, and we need to go all in on the secondary. We need corners. We don't need anything. I mean, quarterback, there's nothing there. Could argue having another running back, but I'm not going to burn a first-round pick on the backup to our main runner there. There could be value if we can get Felix in the 3rd round. However, like, our D-line's solid. Like, we'd have to be blown away with a defensive tackle. I mean, this guy looks pretty good in Matthew Webb. He's probably 78 normal dev, but neither one of those guys are impact playmaker. We just need best DBs available. Unfortunately, that's the best safety. Combine looks good, but I think we might be better off just getting as many corners as we can and converting the one to a free safety. Like, look at this guy, 6'3", 210, almost 4.2 speed. I'm gonna Al Davis it, and I don't care that he's 75 normal. I'm happy with it, and I'm gonna save the speed and the combine for further evaluation, because we're gonna grab another one. We got Orlando Weeks, early 1st round corner. Drummond down here, 5th round. We actually get him later as an actual corner. But let's see what we got here. Orlando Weeks, 70. Give me a goddamn dev trait, man. Number 2 in true value, though. Well, we'll take that in the 2nd round. Did want to get a little smash and dash, another combo to pair with DeAndre Swift and Quandre Terry from Oklahoma State, number 4 in true value. Oklahoma State. Barry Sanders, Chuba Hubbard. Great history of running backs. That's a hell of a pick. So our draft finishes here with, it's a very good draft. Juggernaut of a draft. Carver, Carver sounds better, but John Caver at corner, 93 speed at 6'3", 208, 75 normal. We got the 77. We got the running back here, 3rd round. I got that 5th round corner that had the 1st round grade. Craig Drummond at Michigan State, 74 with the normal dev. Rest of the draft, I'm not gonna lie, I simmed it out because at that point there, it's like the draft board was set, but that's a goddamn really good draft as we gear up for year 3. Midway point of year 3, 1-6. 1-6. Hawkinson is coming back. Swift's affordable because we have a stud. You don't have to bring him back, but we'll get him. We'll get John. Like, I mean, it's one of those things. Do I really want to re-sign any of these guys for underperforming? But I'll give Jonah Jackson a contract. We'll let Agnew walk. I need more. Actually, that's still like a goddamn pretty good contract for a superstar dev, a guy that we know is going to give us some special teams ability. But my God, 1 win? And just, yeah, year 3, let's flash in the pan. Unbelievably underwhelming. At least we finished out somewhat strong to go 6-10. But, you know, this is supposed to be the year that we're peaking. This is supposed to be the year that we're, like, getting ready. I guess we're going to spend our upgrades there. How is he getting 6? Like, there must be something kind of busted here, man, with these upgrades and shit. Like, I'm running default. I'm running default sliders. These guys just want to be studs. I guess that's what happens. On an underperforming team, we just have the all-time greatest developmental coaching staff. Goff, 32 touchdowns, 8 picks, wasn't bad. Galladay over 1,000 yards. Defensively, Barnes, 4 picks, over 100 tackles. Joe Morrison, 9 sacks, 7.5 for McDonald. It's just, we just need a little bit more, man. It's Josh Allen's your MVP. We do have some money, so we can improve the squad in free agency. I'm looking definitely at Julian Blackmon here at free safety. We'll give him 4.5, 2.25. 4 year, 26 mil coming in as the top bid. I also think I want to bring in a young edge rusher, and I like Epinesa. I always felt like he was kind of a guy that would fit in Detroit, so we're going to give him a 4-year deal, and we have no chance of getting him. So we're going to have to draft a defensive end. Let's have some fun. We only need a DN. This guy didn't attend the combine. Early first rounder. Tremaine. I know so many white dudes named Tremaine. I'm gonna lose my mind I'm chasing dev traits that aren't there. Quick look at our draft recap here. I mean, again, another just stellar draft. You know, that guy looked really good. I got 72. I got another 75 DN Arthur Briscoe. Normal dev, of course. But hey, we got some ends. We got some rotational ends. A little bit better, midway year 4, 4-3. Packers are running away, so we pretty much are going to have to focus more so on the wild card. But our team's coming along, almost a 90 for Goff. Swift's into the 90s. We have a hell of a 1-through-3 punch at wide receiver. Terry is a superstar dev running back, who that's a good compliment there. The O-line is strong. The defense is strong. Barnes and Tavai both got that. It's Madden Sim outside linebacker, just linebacker cheese at this point. But I mean, this is a very, very strong team. And, we'll give some contracts out here for sure. Jeff Okudah, Kenny Galladay, Wyatt Teller, Jared Goff, Morrison, Mullins, all for sure going to get in contracts. It's going to be stretching it fairly thin, though. We're not going to have much money, if any, to sign free agents in the offseason. Hey, made the playoffs, year 4, 9-7. Not too shabby. Statistically speaking, Jared Goff, not great. Actually, his worst year as a Detroit Lion. 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns. The run game was pretty good. 1,000 yards for Galladay, pretty good. The defense shined. 13.5 sacks more. So this guy here is pretty much Baby Donald. Again, I can't explain. Like, this is without a shadow of a doubt. Like, there must have been something that happened in the last franchise update, because I've never seen players develop like this on default slider settings. I've never seen players develop this quickly with like everything up 50%. So I don't know what's going on, but I'll take it for sure, as we have a very, very strong team. It's only year 4, so we don't have to watch side by side as we fucking lose one and done. 34-31. So we're coming on to a Super Bowl or bust year. As we watch, is Stafford still doing his thing in this game? Is Stafford and the Rams? It's not even there anymore. They gone on to Jalen Hurts. So while Stafford retired and got 0 rings for the Rams, Goff is at least keeping the Lions relevant as a playoff contender as we set up here for a year 5 Super Bowl or bust. Had a little money for our final free agency period, so we're going to just get 2 positions that we need. Stephon Gilmore, superstar X Factor, still at corner at 34, and Harrison Butker, the second best kicker, not named Justin Tucker, in the NFL. Our final draft here, is what it is. Fairly light. It's the last draft. None of these guys are going to make crazy, crazy impacts. But we did get a hidden dev wide receiver, Joe Landry, out of Mississippi State. And again, just continuing to swing for the fences on an edge rusher, Carlos Connor, 91 accelerate. I mean, this guy actually looks incredible. But unfortunately, also just a normal dev. All or nothing now, year 5 for the 93 overall Detroit Lions. I can already say right now we had a lot more success as my controller friggin' dies. We had a lot more success in this rebuild than we did with Matt Stafford on the Rams. But also, I think there's some credit to the fact that we don't have the salary cap hell that the Rams had, and we had a lot more young talent really hit. Our drafts were A-tier drafts for a rebuild. So everything, let's go, man. I gotta at least get in the playoffs. We don't make the playoffs, that'd be the most Madden 21 thing that could potentially happen. I just straight up simmed. Let's see what happens, man. Proof's in the... Didn't think I needed to, you know. 7-9. We're Jeff Fisher. Even with Jared Goff, even with drafting as good as someone could humanly possibly draft in Madden, still wasn't good enough. Jared Goff. I mean, not surprising. I guarantee clicking this video, you probably didn't think we were going to really win any Super Bowl titles with Jared Goff, but my God, I guess the tail of this rebuild, just what is going on in Detroit that these guys are developing at the rate that they were. Like the fact that we got Morrison's up to a 91 on a normal dev. Some crazy things happened. But the craziest thing that could have happened didn't. And that was the Detroit Lions winning a Super Bowl. Jared Goff, 91 overall. When all said and done, statistically, played well. 30, 34, like, you know, average 36 touchdowns this year. So he had his best year, aging like a fine wine. But averages, we'll say about 32 touchdowns a season, which is pretty good. I think if you're a Detroit Lion fan, things could be a lot worse. Maybe there's light at the other end of the tunnel. I don't know. But fortunately, couldn't get the job done. But I hope you guys did enjoy this little rebuild of Jared Goff on the Detroit Lions. We'll be back tomorrow with almost certainly the first actual gameplay of our Tom Savage UNLV coaching dynasty in college football revamped. I'm very excited to drop that to you guys. But thank you for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.